Yo, what up fellow creatives? I'm Macoy Magbago of Nostalgia Digital Film, and in this video we are going to review a lens from Yongnuo Photography, and this is the Ynlens 35mm f2, and this lens is for Sony E-mount cameras. And for full disclosure, this lens was sent to me by Yongnuo to review, but rest assured that all the things I'll be saying on this video will be my honest opinion. So let's talk about the build quality of this lens. And so far, this lens feels and looks expensive, despite that this lens will only cost you around somewhere $200. And the ergonomics of this lens is very nice, and the design of the manual focus ring is very good, and so far I don't have any problem regarding with this. And aside from the autofocus manual focus switcher, you will also get a customizable button. So let's talk about the autofocus of this lens, and I just want to make it clear that the Sony E-mount native lens is much more faster than this lens. I repeat, the autofocus of the Sony E-mount native lens is much more faster than this, but the autofocus of this lens is very reliable and most of the time is on point. I've been using this lens almost exclusively for the past 2 months. I have used this lens on a wedding gig. I have used this lens on a corporate gig. And so far, I didn't have any major problem regarding with the autofocus. And there's one tip that I can give you to maximize the autofocus of this lens. Please properly expose your subject whenever you're filming or taking a photo. In that way, you can maximize the autofocus of this lens, especially when you're shooting on a S-Log or S-Log 3 or 2. So make sure to properly expose to maximize the autofocus of this lens. And here's another tip when you're using this lens or any lens in general. When you find yourself filming or taking a photo with your subject that there are so many things happening around your subject, there are people walking around, your subject is playing with an animal, so the autofocus sometimes hunts. In that kind of scenario, I love to shoot manual focus. In that way, you can avoid focus breathing and focus hunting. And most of the cameras right now is built with manual focus peaking assist. So make sure to use that, because it is a very useful tool in your cameras, especially when you're filming with your subject that there are so many things happening around them. So let's talk about the image quality that comes out with this lens. And so far, I love the photos and videos whenever I'm using this lens. Like I said, I've been using this lens for 2 months, and this has become my main lens whenever I'm filming or doing some photoshoot work. And I was very happy when I found out that the image quality of this lens is very nice, because I was not expecting that this will be a very good lens, because it will only cost you, this lens will cost you around $200. So I was not expecting that this lens will produce some very high quality photos and videos. And so far, I love this lens, and I will definitely recommend this lens to you guys. And there's only one reason why you should not buy this lens: if you really want the faster autofocus with the native lens Sony E-mount. But like I said, the 35mm Sony E-mount native lens will cost you around $400, and this lens will cost you around $200. So if you're trying to save some money, this lens is the best lens to buy in the market right now. So that's it. I hope you find this video helpful, and once again, I just want to say thank you, Yongnuo, for sending me this lens. And this probably will be one of my best lens inside my bag right now, if I'm using the A6400. And yeah, I hope to see you next time. If you're into filmmaking, please do consider subscribing, and like always, enjoy the process of filmmaking. Peace out. Woo!